All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal. I hope everyone is well. Please do stick a like on this video. I know it's a bit earlier than normal, it's a bit earlier than I normally go. But this subject, I just wanted to comment on it real quick. I want to just get it out of the way. Plus, I'm also working on a bunch of member things I want to finally just get out today, including one Chick Flicks thing. So I hope you guys look out for that. And I know I always make that promise, and you're like, where is it? But trust me, you're going to see ding, ding, ding if you're a member. So if you're not a member, make sure you get on that member swag, because I'm about to revamp the approach that I have with the members stuff. So keep a lookout for that. All right. You guys have come here mainly for one reason, and I'm going to talk about it. I purposefully stay away from the subject of Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil for me is like religion and politics. You know, you're never going to please everyone. There's always going to be a very aggressive reaction to anything that you say. And I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to add as much balance to this situation as possible. Now, in case you're living under a tree, and to be fair, people have been at work. Mesut Ozil came out with some comments today. And in the interest of fairness, and so that I'm not paraphrasing anything, I'm going to attempt to read some of this. So, because I'm not a subscriber to Athletic, there's no way I'm reading. I'm not signing up just for that. He gave this interview to David Ornstein in the Athletic, and he's basically just spoken about the fact that he's been exiled from the team, what happened during the whole pay cuts fiasco, and his future at Arsenal. So, I've got a number of different articles up because there's no one article that has this entire comment that I've been able to find. Keep in mind, I literally finished work 5 minutes ago. All right, so let me just have a look and see. Let's get into it. My position is clear, Mesut Ozil says. I am here through the last day of our agreement, and I'll give everything I have for this club. I'll decide when I go, not other people. I didn't sign for 2 or 3 years. I signed for 4. That should be respected by everybody. Things have obviously been difficult, but I love Arsenal. I love to work there. I love the people in the club, the real people, those that have been with. I'm literally reading it how it's typed. I love the people in the club, the real people, those I've been with for a long time. And I love London. It's my home. Whatever happened in the last 2 seasons, I'm happy. I'm very strong mentally. I never give up on anything. And I want to help my team, and I'll fight for it. If I'm fit, I'll know what I can do on the pitch. Ozil's offered an explanation to the pay cuts fiasco. Let's keep going. As players, we all wanted to contribute, Mesut Ozil said, but we needed more information and many questions were unanswered. Everyone was fine with a deferral while there was while there was so much uncertainty. I would have been okay to take a bigger share, then a cut if required, once the football and the financial outlook was clearer, but we were rushed into it without proper consultation. For anyone in this situation, you have the right to know everything, to understand why it is happening, where the money is going, but we didn't get enough details. We just had to give a decision. It was far too quick for something so important, and there was a lot of pressure. This was not fair, especially for the young guys, and I refused. I had a baby at home with commitments to my family in Turkey and Germany and to my charities. and also a new project. And we started to support people in London. That was far from the heart and not for publicity. People know me and how generous I am. And as far as I'm aware, I'm not the only player who rejected the cut in the end. But only my name came out. I guess that's because it's me. And people have been trying for 2 years to destroy me, to make me unhappy, to push an agenda they hope will turn the supporters against me and paint a picture that is not true. Possibly the decision has affected my chances on the pitch. I do not know, but I'm not afraid to stand up for what I feel is right. And when you see what has happened now with the jobs, maybe I was. And that is from Mesut Ozil. So in the end, actually, the article I did find covered the interview. Now, I'm all about balance. And I want that to come across in the way I approach this. Because, of course, at some point, I'm going to criticize this man. Here's something that may surprise you. The latter half of that, I completely agree with. And I don't mean to belittle anybody's understanding of business or anything like that. But I speak as someone who works in HR. As someone who works in HR, so I would be the employer in this particular situation, I would have had to have gone up to Mesut Ozil and present a business case as to why the business needed to exact that action. Now, typically, a business won't necessarily ask somebody to take a pay cut. They're more likely to ask them, they're more likely to have a 30-day consultation for redundancy. Now, they present that business case, and usually in that 30-day consultation, the typical question of if you feel that there is a different way that the business has not considered, and you haven't any ideas of how the business can achieve X amount of savings, please let us know so that we can then consider it during those 30 days. In other words, this is an opportunity for the business to essentially dismiss you legally without worry of reprisal or doing something unlawful, because they are essentially breaking your contract. It's that same principle that is applied here. The business is breaking his contract by not paying him his full wage, agreed wage. So therefore, they have to enter a consultation period where during that consultation period, not only do they present a business case, they have to give him the where and the whys. I said this, by the way, I explained all of this at the time. So anyone that says, oh, Chig is flip-flopping, you go and watch my videos. I did this whole breakdown before, right? So I actually had some sympathy for Mesut Ozil because I felt like the whole situation just seemed a little bit sketchy. It seemed a little bit last minute. And it seemed like, to be honest with you, and this is just me being real, the players were being bullied into a corner. What I didn't like out of that situation was that Mesut was the only one who didn't, or one of the few people who didn't, because that's never going to be a good look. You can't let someone like a Bukayo Saka, who at the time was receiving 5K, and your ass is receiving more than 100. You're receiving well over 10 times what he's receiving. That I didn't like. Like me, in that situation, bruh, just take the 12% hit for the time being and speak up about it. That would have been what I would have done. Because I wouldn't have wanted to put myself through that embarrassment of later down the line when my name comes out. Because your name's always going to come out. You're the highest earner. Someone's going to snake you. You're the highest earner. You can't be letting someone who earns 5K a week take a pay cut that you didn't when you get paid £350,000 a week. Your name was always going to come out. Right? But I have some sympathy. I had some sympathy, not just for Mesut Ozil, actually for all the players. Because as we've seen over the last week, it didn't stop Arsenal making the redundancies of 55 staff. So what the heck was the pay cut for? you still made the redundancies. So it bears question, what happened to all that cash that you supposedly saved on in the last few months? I have sympathy in that particular scenario. And I want that to be nice and clear for the next part. Where my violence stops is when he talks about, oh, well, people have been trying to destroy me, and I don't know how it is that I can be good enough. And, we've got 2 years. I signed a contract for 4 years, not 3 years, not 2 years. So it should be respected. Like, you don't know you play football. Were you spitting these same bars for Real Madrid? Or is it because it's Arsenal and you have this complex of how can Arsenal treat the great Mesut Ozil like this? This is business. You are not performing on the pitch straight. In fact, me personally, I was pissed with Arteta. You saw me, I was pissed with Arteta for when he came in for the first 10 games of the season. This guy, without fail, would pick Mesut Ozil. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, why? Out of those 10 games, maximum he performed to maybe a 7 out of 10 was twice. Maybe. But without fail, he kept picking him and picking him and picking him. And Mesut, don't try it. Don't try and link the pay cut with you being dropped, because you were dropped before that. Don't try it. Don't spin that. This is where I don't like the shit, because now you're trying to be clever, because you're articulate. You're very clever with your timings of your messages, and even the person who is a Mesut Ozil fan and is starting to wane and starting to maybe doubt Mesut Ozil and their love. When you spit it like that, then it gets them on board. Flipping, go and look at my Twitter. I put a tweet out that said, I don't get this guy. You're being given your money. If it was me, if your concern is really football, I just want to play. And granted, you have a contract. It's not your fault that the club was dumb enough to give you that type of money. Absolutely. Listen, the club, believe me, they bear a lot of fault with what has happened. But they are trying to rectify it by clearly they've made you some kind of offer for you to come out and spit bars like this. So they've obviously made you some kind of offer, whether it's like I suggested on my chopping block for most of your contracts or for all of your contracts. So let's assume that that's happened. Why? What principality would stop you from taking that money? Just take the money and run. If I was you, and if football is really your concern, and giving your all and wanting to feel wanted is really your concern, I would take that 18 million or 15 million, heck, half of that, and run and go and play for a club that wants you, instead of sitting there hoping and waiting for scraps. Do you hope that Arsenal are going to give you a contract after this? You can't be serious. That's where for me, that's where my bullshit, this is where my sympathy ends with Mesut Ozil. I don't rate the guy on the pitch, I don't. But I at least have some sympathy with that whole pay cut fiasco, because I understand. I get it. If he wasn't given information, and the whole thing, the way we were hearing it, it sounded shoddy as fuck. So if you noticed on this channel, I never really went in on Mesut Ozil about the whole pay thing. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that he didn't agree to anything, and meanwhile he's watching Bukayo Saka agree to a 5% thing. But the general principle of wanting to have information before making a decision, completely agree with. But then it's this, oh, well, maybe, they're dropping me out in the squad because I didn't agree to the pay cut. No, bruh, you were dropped before that. Don't try it. Don't spin that. And then with Mesut Ozil, I don't know why he's come out with these comments all of a sudden, because this is copy and paste. This is copy and repeat. Because it's not like Mikel Arteta's the only guy that's dropped you. A certain Unai Emery did the same thing. What is it about you that managers keep dropping? What is it? What is it you're doing, or should I say, not doing, that managers keep dropping? And then when I saw the bit of, oh well, I've got commitments, like I've got a kid and I've got charities, bruh, you're on $350 a week. Don't do that. Don't do that, because there are a lot of people that don't hit 150 a year in their lifetime. So you trying to say, oh, I've got bills to pay? Them kind of bars ain't gonna wash with people. You got people like Sergio, my man's working 2 jobs, and you want to talk to him about, oh, I can't afford to take a 12.5% cut because I've got commitments. You're on $350 a week, son. What are you talking about? Sorry to use you as an example, Sergio. You're the first person that popped in my head. This is where things like that, I just think to myself, bruh, you are so out of touch. You don't understand what you're doing. And this is why when that story came up, I had one simple reaction. I just don't get this guy. I can understand the principle of, well, you can't force me out. I didn't ask for 350, so I'm staying there until I get my last 350 for the next year or for the last year of my contract. Okay, so the club, who already have limited finances, somehow managed to come up with 18 million to pay your ass, and you still won't go. That's where my sympathy runs out. This is beyond being a mercenary. This is some bullshit. If you really cared about the club, heck, forget the damn club. If you cared about yourself, if you really cared about yourself, your family, and your career, you're 31. You can still salvage something. Go, just move on. Leave us be. Let's just have an amicable just divorce and just step away. You do your thing. Go to America. Go and have all the success in coffee shops that you want. Go to Istanbul or Fenerbahce or wherever. Go and have that successful career. Heck, people will disagree with me in the stream. I don't give a fuck. Go to Italy. I guarantee that man can still play, even at that level in Italy, for a couple of years at least. Just leave us be. Because this Mesut Ozil, the problem is him not being in the side. There's always going to be that cloud. There's always going to be that cloud, because every time we don't win shit, every time we don't draw shit, the minute that Mikel Arteta is under pressure, and rightly so, they're not going to make it about the right thing. Even if Mikel Arteta is under pressure like he should be, it's not going to be about the game. It's going to be about the fact that Mesut Ozil weren't in the team. It's exactly what happened to Unai Emery. The only problem I had with Unai Emery was this idiot put him back in the team. Fuck that. Leave his punk ass out of the team. That's the one thing I really like about what Arteta's done. He ain't waned. He ain't strayed. I don't give a damn. You're not in my squad. You earn this stuff. Stop talking to us through David Ornstein. I don't give a shit what David Ornstein has to say. If you're really about this life and you really want to fight, then fight on the pitch. Why is it that all of a sudden today you decided to come out with these statements? Today you decided, oh, well, I will explain why I didn't take the pay cut. I will explain why I did this and why I did that. It's because clearly the club has offered you the chance to go. Maybe that angered you. Maybe that surprised you. I don't fucking know. Either way, I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of hearing his name. This is why I don't really talk about him. I don't want to get into arguments with people. I don't want to do nothing. I'm just sick of the same subject over and over and over and over again. But you care about this club. You clearly don't. You don't. Forget the club. I don't give a damn whether you care about the club or not. You clearly don't care about your own career. Because if it was me and I'm offered 18 million, which was what is in my contract anyway, to leave, the fuck am I still here for? I'd want to go somewhere I'm wanted, surely. Oh, I tell you, just cool down today as well. And trust Mesut Ozil to just ruffle my feathers and get me all hot and bothered under the collar. What do you guys think? Am I overreacting? Am I not giving him enough credit? Mesut, I just don't know anymore. I don't know what goes through his head. The guy actually, for me, is even losing it a little bit when it comes to the PR spin. Because I don't really understand what he thought he would get out of his comments today. What was his focus today? Well, I'm going to try and get them on side. How? How would you get us on side at this point? Do you know what would have been nice? It would have got me on side, but what would have been nice is if you dragged your broken ass to Wembley and was actually celebrating with the lads. That would have shown me you gave a shit. Not you tweeting from some beach, wherever the fuck he was, going, oh, y'all gunners, y'all gunners, fuck off. Talking about what tells me you care? You went at Wembley. I saw other injured players at Wembley. You didn't give two shits. Y'all gunners, y'all. I don't want to hear that shit. To me, that's up there with back on top. That's up there with that. It's such an annoying thing. What is that? Y'all gunners, y'all. Some bullshit. This is why I don't talk about him. I don't want to hear Mesut Ozil the victim. I don't want to hear it's never my fault, Mesut. Mesut, how about you do something? How about you try and find out what is it about you that managers don't like? What is it about you? What is it about you that Unai Emery dropped? What is it about you that Mikel Arteta dropped? What is it? Do you know what? Forget all of those things. If it was me, what is it about me that whoever's the snitch decided to rat me out to the press? What is it about you? Why is it always you? And then you come out and you want to spin some shit in the press. I don't want to hear it, Mesut. I don't want to hear. I'm tired. I'm tired of your shit. I just want you to, for me, my boy Lee's doing a countdown. I see him in the chat room. Shout out to him. I ain't doing no countdown. For me, I don't want to hear nothing about Mesut. I don't want to see him. The only time I want to hear about Mesut Ozil is a Sky Sports ticker saying Arsenal have finally released Mesut Ozil. That's it. I don't want to hear anything else. For me, you ain't going to see me from this point onwards mention the brother in my channel unless he's contributing to the fucking cause. Unless he's out there on the pitch. I'm not spinning some stupid yarn in the fucking press. I want to hear that shit. Guy pisses me, honestly, it pisses me off. I didn't think I was so angry. I looked at it and I just thought, this guy, what's the matter with you? And this is what, and I want to go back to people because obviously I'm mid-rant. So if you just joined, you're just seeing me just ranting off about Mesut Ozil. Probably some of you rolling your eyes. Let me add one more time. I have some sympathy, some sympathy about the pay cut thing. Because it's clearly for me, I can just imagine someone like Raul coming there on some smarmy shit, talking about the fact that, if you give 12%, 12.5%, you'll fix everything in the club. I can absolutely see some shit like that happening. And as someone that works as a HR person that's had a conversation like that, that's had conversations like that, right? I know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. And the way it was reported to us, they damn sure weren't doing everything they should be doing. So, like I say, I can have some sympathy. Absolutely. And with that situation, I won't even touch it. But don't be telling me, Mesut, that, they dropped you out of the team because you didn't agree to a pay cut. No, Mesut, that's not what happened. They've been trying to destroy you for 2 years. So why are you still there? I'd have bounced. I would have bounced. I've bounced. I've left workplaces before because I've not gotten on with people. I've done that before. For 2 years, bruh. You think it would have taken me 2 years to leave somewhere just because they pay me $350 a week? Money ain't everything. Oh, anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. I'm sick of talking about this, guys. I'm gonna wrap that part up. But let me know what you think. Let's talk about Kia Chobakchian, or whatever his name is. Lee will be laughing at the way I butchered his second name, but I don't give a damn. My man, aka the new technical director of Arsenal. I told you guys, didn't I tell you guys? I told you guys that it would not surprise me if at some point in the future, my man has some kind of role at Arsenal. What I completely didn't realize is he basically has Edu's job. You notice we never hear from Edu. But today, on a grand scale, we decided to hear from Kia. And he came out and he talked about his clients, which you think, all right, it's a bit weird. We don't really hear from agents, but okay. And I'll come back to that in a second. But then he all of a sudden went on this attack on Sven, talking about how Sven signed these number of players and that he shouldn't say it, but they were. I think he said something on the lines of they were dog shit players, and you know he signed a number of them, and they were difficult to get off the wage book. I wonder if he was talking about Socrates. So, like, he just went in on Sven. I don't know what the heck. I don't know what happened. Went in on him. Then he decided to clarify some stories. One of which was Mr. Fernandez, the 17-year-old, who we've been linked with for some time. He basically came out and said that story was bullshit, that he has absolutely no idea where it came from. Me, you know, the only two people I heard suggest this, that it could be bullshit, was Lee and myself. I felt like it just didn't make sense. Like, why would... So we can't afford Partey, but we're trying to get a teenager. Like, just something didn't compute. Something did not add up about that story. And he himself has clarified that he doesn't know where that story came from. It was BS. We said it from the get-go, that it was absolutely BS. So it was like, okay, cool. Fine, not a problem. He kind of went on to then talk about Willian. It looks like that deal is about to be confirmed. I think everyone is expecting that to go through tomorrow alongside the announcement of Aubameyang's new contract tomorrow. I tell you what, if both of those things don't happen tomorrow, Arsenal are going to be under a lot of pressure because this is a long time to wait. So he's basically confirmed that. He's confirmed that there is interest in the Coutinho deal, but he didn't really divulge what was happening there. So I thought that those were little interesting updates. So basically, all in all, Willian's about to happen. Coutinho is still in discussions, and Fernandez was a bunch of nonsense. So it was what it was. It is what it is. In terms of Gabriel, is another one who is now starting to interest other teams. Man United are said to be very interested in Gabriel. We knew this already, but apparently they've started to make moves in terms of talking to Lille, because Arsenal are going to do an Arsenal and they're going to, twiddle their thumbs while our targets get swiped. That's usually what we do. And that seems to be happening here. So there is a lot of rumors within that regard as well. Other stories, we started to talk to Diarra from Roma. Not necessarily about a swap deal, just talk about how much that deal would cost on its own. And I think a lot of people would assume that this would be the Part A alternative. As I said to you guys yesterday, we're losing so many people that can play a number 6 position. I don't have any issue this guy coming in and being a squad player. just as long as Partey is one of those people that we go and get. I suggested you could probably bring in this guy and Partey, and then maybe a slightly more technical central midfielder like an Abour, a Dominic Szoboszlai, someone like that. So I have no issue with that at all. Conversely, Torreira's been shopped around just to see what sort of price that we can get for him. So expect Torreira at some point very, very shortly to be leaving the club. We don't have long to complete all these deals. So Arsenal really need to get a move on. I think I mentioned this on last night's stream that Arsenal had a new bid for Dani Ceballos rejected. This was for a flat-out permanent deal. It was viewed as too low. So Real Madrid have completely rejected that. It is left. As things stand, we don't know whether or not Arsenal will go back in for another bid. Chelsea and Arsenal are apparently the favourites to sign Real Madrid left back Reguilón. He's obviously the 23-year-old that we've been linked with for about a year now. I don't mind this buy. I know lots of people are a little bit like, what does that mean for Tierney? And I know Lee's in the chat room and won't like me talking like this, but you know, if Tierney, if three at the back is going to be a permanent fixture, then you've got to imagine that Tierney is going to be earmarked for that third centre-back role. Block your ears, Lee. Block your ears. So if that's the case, then you would think left-back role is up for grabs. Plus, we need to get rid of Kolasinac, man. We need to get rid of Kolasinac. And in order to get rid of Kolasinac, you need to sell a left-back. So I'm kind of all for it if we can make it happen, but I just don't see how we make that happen. Plus, the last I checked, apparently he's worth 70 million. Apparently. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. Other than that, there's not really a lot else going on. Yeah, just that's it. It's just mainly the Mesut Ozil thing. So anyway, I've had my kind of say on it. What do you guys think? Once again, let me know. No doubt you will leave in the comments below. Like I say, I hate talking about Mesut Ozil because I know it's such a polarizing subject. I know what normally happens. But I don't care. I'll always be real with you guys. I'll always be honest. And quite honestly, and I've said it, I'm saying this now. Even when Lee in the chat room say he hears it as well. Until this fucker comes on the pitch and actually contributes, you will not hear me talk about Mesut Ozil again until it's the final day and this guy finally leaves this club. I've had my say on that guy. I've had my fill on that guy. I have no interest in talking about him again. So it is what it is. You guys let me know, as I'm sure you will. Because every time I bring up Mesut Ozil, people get snappy. I don't care. But let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, maybe some of you will, who knows, crush, destroy, and heck, if you don't like this video, leave a dislike. All helps the show. And yeah, just hit the subscribe button. I'll be back a bit later for the members, so members, watch out. That's a lot of the reason I've done this early. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Peace up in the chat room.